Hello everyone, today we are leveling up your prompting skills. We're going to take you from novice to expert. I like to think of this as a video game where each level unlocks a new ability for you and your AI toolkit. We'll start off with the basics and progressively move on to more advanced tools throughout this video, from level 0 to level 4. Alright, we're going to start off with level 0, that's just what is a prompt, the basics of prompting. Level 1 is going to be zero-shot prompting. Level 2 is going to be few-shot prompting. Level 3 is going to be chain of thought prompting, and then number 4 is going to be chain prompting, which is actually different. Let's go through them all, starting in level 0. Before we jump into all the crazy stuff, what is a prompt? I like to think of it as the conversational starter with the AI. This input will kickstart the whole AI's thinking process. But here's a kicker. Did you know that LLMs don't actually read your words? They interpret your words. That's why being clear and specific in your prompting is so crucial. Let's try a simple prompt and start it off. I'm using ChatGPT, the classic one, but the cool thing about learning all these tips and tricks is it actually applies to all of them. So it goes to Gemini, it goes to Claude, it can go to Perplexity. They all use the same concept when prompting. Level 1 is going to be zero-shot prompting. Zero-shot prompting is like asking your LLM to perform a task without any prior examples or specific training. This is simply the most straightforward way to interact with LLMs, and if you're new, this is probably the style you've been using this whole time, level 1. So how does it work? You simply describe the task that you want the LLM to perform, and it attempts to complete it based on its general knowledge and understanding that it has already been trained on. All right, let's do an example. So we're going to say, explain the concepts of photosynthesis in simple terms. So this is just one thing. You're not telling it how you want it to respond. You're not giving it any context. You're just saying, what do you know about it? And because it's been trained on a lot of things and this isn't a new concept, it should be pretty good at answering this. Here's a simple breakdown. Takes energy from the sunlight, uses chlorophyll, water, and carbon. Bada bang, bada boom. So this is something that AI knows about. So if you know it's just something simple and you want a quick answer for, and you know that it's been around for a long time, that's where these LLMs are going to be really good, and you can be vague with your answer. You can do the zero-shot prompting, you can do level 1. But what if it gets more complicated, and what if you want more specific results? Let's move on to level 2. All right, so level 2 is few-shot prompting. This is excellent for guiding the LLM to produce outputs that are in a specific format and style of your choosing. There's the difference. A great way to show this off to you guys is let's create a scenario involving data analysis and report writing to demonstrate the power of few-shot prompting. So how does this work? We're going to give it 2 to 3 examples of the input and desired output, then present your actual task. Alrighty, so let's do it. Like I said, we're leveling up. These prompts are getting bigger and more complex, but not too complex. You got this. All right, so we're going to say, you are a product analysis. Analyze customer feedback in this format. So then what we do is we write that out, and then we give an example on kind of the outputs we're looking for. So example 1, feedback. So this is the item that we're trying to have it analyze. So feedback is going to be set in right here. Then we're going to go down to the analysis. We want to find out if there's any issues. Can it tell us what it is? How severe is this problem? What is the impact? And then, do they have any recommendations for how to solve it? So then you can do a few of these so you can understand kind of what we want and how we want it formatted. So example 2, same thing. Feedback, analysis. So feedback, love the dark mode. Auto switch at night would be great. So then you'll see that it pulled out the issue. Feature enhancement, that's the problem that they're having. They want more. Severity, not too high. It's nothing urgent, but it could be cool. Impact, user's convenience. And recommendation, add auto switch. So this is an example of the things it pulled out from here. That's all these are. So then we're going to tell it what to do. So now what we're going to say is now analyze, and then we're going to give it 3 more that we want it to execute on. So these are the 3 feedbacks right here that we wanted to analyze. So what we did was tell it what we're doing, who you are. We gave it 2 examples on what we want the output to be. And then now we're going to give it analyze these 3 different feedbacks. So let's see what happens. Perfect. So we have 3 that we wanted it to go through. We want it to look like this. And let's see how it did. All right, example 1, feedback. Search is slow with relevance researches. So you can see that's the first one right here. Perfect. And did it follow the formula? Issue, severity, impact, recommendations. It's going to be high. Search functionality is probably a big part of this, so we need it to be, on high alert. Impact, user satisfaction, and efficiency, recommendations. Optimize search algorithms for speed and relevance, provide and implement. Nice. And then it goes and does it for all three. Also, a little tip on this as well. You don't need to be so specific oftentimes. Like, this is the best way to do it, but a lot of times these things are so smart, by the way, that like you don't have to put one and then quotes. You could just put one or a bullet point, or just dump them in under here and just say, hey, here are the feedbacks. And it doesn't need to be perfect formatting, so like don't waste a bunch of time putting it into this format, or just say, here's all my feedback, and then you would actually tell an LLM to put it into this format and to break it down, then you would put it in. So there's a lot of ways to skin a cat on this one. All right, one more tip on this, and it actually applies to all of them before we move to level 3, is with this prompt right here, if this is something you're doing all the time, I would actually create it into like a GPT or something, so that you don't have to be telling the LLM every single time. You can literally just slam in all your analysis or the questions, feedback, whatever you're doing, and it'll just know what to do because it's already pre-programmed. I have a whole video on how to create GPTs. This would be your system prompt for that GPT, and then now it knows anytime you slam through some questions like this, it's just going to give you the answer. You don't have to keep explaining yourself. Alrighty, we're moving on to level 3, chain of thought prompting. Chain of thought prompting is particularly powerful for complex problem-solving tasks that require multiple steps of reasoning. But first, how does it work? You essentially are asking the LLM to think through the problem step by step before giving you the final answer. So instead of just, here's the question, here's the answer, it's going to go step by step, doing reasoning and thinking through the whole time and explain it to you. The best way to show you what I mean by this is just to show you an example. I'm going to use a business strategy scenario to demonstrate its capabilities. Let's do it. Right, so let's throw the prompt in. We're going to be doing a prompt that says, you are a business strategy consultant. Develop a step-by-step analysis for the US-based electric vehicle company considering entering the European markets. Consider factors such as market demand, competition, and the regulatory environment and any potential challenges. Provide your reasoning with each step. That's the key for this. So it's going to go step by step, explaining its reasoning, and there's a few benefits to that. Let's see what it does. Strategic recommendations, market entry strategy, pros of phased market approach, product adaptation, partnership and alliance, marketing and branding, perfect. All right, so I brought it all together, gave us our recommendations, it gave us a conclusion on its thoughts. This will not be easy. Didn't think it would be. All right, so that is a chain of thought prompting. So this prompt encourages the LLM to break down complex tasks of market entry strategy into logical steps, showing its reasoning and process. That's huge. When would you use this? You're going to be using this for complex problem-solving tasks. You're also going to be using this when you want to understand the LLM's reasoning process behind what it's doing, and then you want to catch errors in the LLM's logic. So when you can see all the steps, you can break it down and you can make changes to each step, to none of the steps, to all the steps. I really like doing this for things that I'm kind of trying to figure out in my head. So like, what is the best way to market? What is the best strategy for this? I always will say, explain your reasoning, because it's like you just have an expert in the room with you. It's like, take advantage, ask questions. I really want to hear why they got to the answer so that you can make it better, you can perform more. This is a kind of prompt I use literally all the time, and you can just add it to anything. All right, one more pro tip for y'all before we move on to level 4 is you can actually combine few-shot prompting by providing examples for a step-by-step solution before presenting your actual problem. So you can still give it examples like we did in the last one if you want specific outputs. It's just, what do you want? What is right for your scenario? And if you don't know, just ask it. Ask it what it thinks. Moving on to level 4, chain prompting. Not chain of thought prompting, but chain prompting. So chain prompting involves using the output of one prompt as the input for other prompts. So it goes from execute, you get your result, put it through a whole new request. Execute, put it through a whole new request. Execute, put it through a whole new request. This allows us to break down complex tasks into a series of interconnected steps. This technique is particularly powerful for tasks that require multiple stages of processing or analysis. Let's demonstrate this with a comprehensive content marketing strategy. in development process. All right, so this is level 4. So I'm even upgrading our process a little bit more. I use Perplexity for any real research. If it has to go access the internet, if I need to go find articles and do all that kind of stuff, Perplexity is better than GPT. It is not trained on old knowledge. It can go get new knowledge and it can synthesize so much information. This isn't a video about Perplexity. I have a video about Perplexity, but I want to just start to show you how I actually solve these problems. I use so many different tools and how you bring it all together and how it all works together. So we're going to start off with Perplexity with this chain, and then we're going to finish the chain in GPT. Let's do it. All right, so first off, what we're going to do is analyze characteristics of millennials interested in fitness apps. List 5 key insights. We're going to be building a AI fitness app, and we're going to be breaking down on all the information we need to know to do that. So what it's going to do is go through all the different websites. It's going to pull out the answer. Should give us 5 key insights. Like I said, not going to go over Perplexity, but it's amazing. We got the first chain in our chain link that we're building, one to the next to the next. You need to get this information, which will allow you to do the next bit of information. So with this data-driven information that we pulled from Perplexity, what I'm going to do is going to go over here and say, based on these insights, generate 5 content ideas, include titles and brief descriptions. So then what I would do is just go down, paste it. Sometimes I add like a colon or something just to maybe help it a little bit with knowing where the break is. And then all I'm going to do is simply copy, paste. It's got this above telling what to do. Here's the information, and we're going to hit send. So then it's going to give us the 5 content ideas based on the insights it found. And like I said, so this is chain of prompting. So one thing will lead to the next, but what's cool about LLMs as well is that it has this whole thread in its knowledge. So it's going to be remembering each step. So you can do callbacks, you can make changes. It's all there. Great. So now we have a couple different things. Master your health metrics, top fitness apps for millennials. Go to wellness. Great. Gives you a little description, and we could expand on it if we want, but we're not. We're going to keep going. So now what we're going to do with this information in this chain is say, hey, create us a 4-week calendar using these ideas. Include frequency, platforms, and content types. So it's suggesting, hey, we're going to throw it up on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. We're going to create videos, stories, posts, bada bing, bada boom. And it's going to give us a breakdown this week. So how would we maybe, execute this plan? When are they going to get posted? Perfect. Next part of the chain, develop a strategy to boost interaction. Include hashtags, user prompts, and community building activities. Perfect. It's going to give me all my hashtags that are relevant for me to make sure that my content is going to the right people. Always good. Instagram. This is the kind of stuff that it's super clutch, it's super fast, it's not rocket science, but I hate doing this stuff. So, slam it into all your stuff. I would just paste this in like a Notion or something, and then you don't have to worry about it again. We're going to say, propose some KPIs to measure success, include quantitative and qualitative metrics. So how are we judging ourselves? How do we know we're actually getting better? Let's ask it how we think we're going to do that based on everything we're already doing. Engagement rate, video views, it tells us what that means, what we're shooting for. So target, aiming for consistent engagement rate above industry benchmarks. So 3 to 6% for Instagram, video views, 10% to 50% growth month over month. I love it. So we got some goals to hit. So now that we have all of these prompts done, we have so much information. We've broken down every type of strategy, when we're doing it, how are we measuring it, all of it. So then at the end of this chain prompt, I always like to do this. We're going to say, summarize the key points from each step of this content marketing strategy. We went individual on all of them. It's hyper focused on each one of those stages, giving you better and better results based on what we've already learned. So it's like a progression. And at the end, you say, now put it all together. Key points for each step of a content marketing strategy. Content ideas. So we got our ideas, nice and easy. Perfect. Ooh, oh my gosh. We have our 4-week calendar. How do we plan on executing this? What's our 1 month look like? Perfect. Bonus week. Fun. Here's the strategy. How we're going to boost interaction. How we're going to do the user prompts. How we're going to handle the community. How are we measuring our success? Here's that. Quantitative metrics. Qualitative as well. It absolutely killed it. So now you got this whole thing. You can copy and paste this, send this to your boss and say, hey, I just worked on this for a week. Look at this in-depth breakdown. Nah, I'm just kidding. Well, maybe I'm not, but depends. We're early in the cycle. You might be able to get away with this kind of stuff for now. All right. And that is a chain prompt for you. So it goes one to the next to the next. It breaks it all down. Alrighty, are you sad? It's the end of level 4. I don't have any more levels in this video. We do have more on our real school, and I do have some more prompting videos that are going to come out separate. But if you can get used to these basics and you learn to use these tools at the right times, I mean, that is huge. We talked zero-shot prompting, the foundations of AI interaction, perfect for straightforward tasks. And we broke down few-shot prompting, guiding AI with examples for more precise and consistent outputs. Next, we broke down chain of thought prompting, tackling complex problems by breaking down it into logical steps and seeing how it thinks. Last, we went over chain prompting, mastering multiple step processes for very comprehensive solutions. Remember, the key to becoming a prompting professional is practice. Try out all these techniques in your projects and don't be afraid to experiment. It's easy, you can mess up, you can keep redoing it. It's only going to make you learn more. The world of LLMs is consistently evolving, and with these tools in your arsenal, we're all equipped to evolve with it. Thanks for joining us on our adventure through Prompting 101. Hope you learned something. This is seriously the key that unlocks so much utility from these LLMs. You gotta learn prompting. You need to know why you're asking what you're asking. What's the best way to get what you want? All right, if you want to take everything to the next level, we have an actual course, SKOOL, School with Alex Hormozy. Maybe you've heard of him. But through his platform, we are offering an actual course. It goes from A to Z. It's not all over the place. You can hone in your skills, take it to the next level. That's where we keep all of our juicy stuff. That's where we have our own prompts that we're giving away. And then you get access to our community and us for questions. So I do respond to YouTube comments, but if you really want some help, you're going to have to go over to school. We'll help you build GPTs. We'll help you with any question you got. We got a team over there. It's going to be amazing. There's more levels. See you later.